Hey everyone, Sean here at the Brass Cellar, and time for another horn introduction. Today I'm moving away from the Martin for, well, at least one day, and I'm going to talk about a horn that I actually have for sale, and this is not the purpose of this channel to, necessarily sell horns. I'm more about the education, preservation, and introduction of vintage horns to people. But I have had quite a few inquiries about whether I have horns for sale. A lot of the instruments that you might see on the horn introductions are actually from my personal collection, so those horns would not be for sale, especially some of the large bores, etc., and some of the really special ones. Those are my private ones that I've spent too many hours pouring through advertisements, talking to people, purchasing from auction sites, etc. So unfortunately those are not for sale, but the one I have today is. So it's a one that I'm, or a brand that I'm still learning about. I like to be really researched about what before I talk about instruments, but I can tell you a little bit about this one. And the whole reason why it's hard to talk about is there's so many models of Conn instruments out there. They were the most prolific manufacturer of instruments during, from the late 1800s, like right through into the 60s, just hundreds of thousands of instruments. But this particular one is kind of interesting, and I purchased this because I've always wanted a Vocabell. And when I say Vocabell, I'm talking about this funky bell that has no bell bead. It doesn't have anything here. It's just the bell flare just goes straight out, and it's just like one. It's actually two pieces of brass. You can see the second seam here, but it just ends without any bead off it. Now that was originally designed to give you a little bit more in decibel volume, according to the marketing, if you believe it, and it certainly seems to have a little bit more punch to it too. So that's one of the features of this instrument. The real reason I like these ones is the Art Deco design of the 30s. So this is a 30s horn. It has a couple of really cool features. Obviously the bell flare that I talked about. But the thing that really draws me to these ones is these cool water keys. So they're kind of, they're a water key set into the design. It's hard. It's like a cover. But it reminds me of some of kind of like the space age crazy designs they had on some of like the cars and things of that era too, like the forward thinking, into the 50s and things. It kind of reminds me of that. Really cool designer. I don't know why they discontinued them, other than the fact that they probably cost a lot more to manufacture. And you've also got these on the valve block here. You've got these valve piston casings that look like kind of Roman columns. And you've also got these awesome grooved trim kits, etc. And this sweeping finger hook. And none of these you really see apart from this kind of era of horns, which is interesting. I mean, the 30s, if you ask me, the 30s, late 20s into like maybe early 40s is when a lot of manufacturers did their best kind of design work, and I guess they were all kind of competing head to head. Certainly for the American manufacturers, in my opinion. So anyway, this is a Conn 48A Cornet. So I know it looks like a trumpet, but it's in fact a cornet. There is a trumpet model that looks very similar to this. The telltale on this is the third slide is mounted here and does not kick out at all. This is actually the lead pipe coming down into the first valve piston right here. So it's kind of interesting because you want to kick this out, but it does not kick out. Really nice tone on these. I'm surprised by the tone, and surprised that maybe more people don't play these, because they really do have a nice tone. So enough of me talking. Let's try it out. And like I say, this one is available if you want to, PM me, etc. You can find the pricing, etc. on the website. Maybe we can talk some kind of deals. I will say some condition issues on this horn. Stick around and I'll talk through on the back. Okay. So I'll switch over to the instrument mic. it's got kind of a cool, funky sound, and I forgot to. No, I did switch over to the right microphone. Yeah, let's try the tune of the hour. One of these days I'll get that tune right. And just for kicks, let's try something else. Yeah, so we'll finish up there. Yeah, it's just a really nice tone. I don't know if I'll have to check back on the recording if it's really picking it up, but it really feels kind of like full and rich. And you really don't get that from a lot of, like, the feedback behind the horn is really good. And I'm kind of directing it towards a stand, but so some condition issues, particularly with this instrument, if you are considering this one. Back of the bell bow, there is some damage right here. It looks like it's been hit on a stand. I don't know if that's going to focus up. Let's give it a moment. It looks like it's been hit on a stand. Yeah, just here, and unfortunately there's a little ding here too. Cosmetic issues, not such a big deal. This horn was stripped. It's it looks a little bit rough right now. I can polish it up if you like. I stripped all the lacquer off this. The only reason I did that was this had been re-lacquered in the past, and someone had already buffed most of the engraving off. Otherwise, I would have left it completely original, but unfortunately, it was already like that. So I stripped it back. I think I used hot water to get rid of most of this, and then some gentle brushing. I'm not going to give away my technique, but it does give it a kind of a matte finish. And it kind of gives a nicer matte finish than some that you see, some people that you see doing these kind of brush finishes. Yeah, so it's got those two dings there. There's a little ding right here on this is, I mean, it's a pin ding, but it is there, so I'm letting you know about that. And then the valves, they do show wear. Yeah, so you can see, I don't know if you can see on here, but you can see some of the actual copper starting to show through on these, which is usually not a good sign, but it is what it is. And the horn still has great compression, which is crazy. Like, I'll pull the I mean, listen to that in terms of a pop. It's loud. It's holding things well. I can't kick out the third slide because it doesn't work. In terms of, it's a fixed thing. And it looks like I need to free up this one. There is a little patch on here. I don't know whether that's original or that's preventative. I'm going to go with assuming that it's a patch. Yeah, apart from that, horn plays great. I just demoed. It comes with the original mouthpiece. It has the original case too, but obviously if you're shipping internationally, that's going to really kill your deal because it's a heavy case, but it is the original 30s case. And I would probably recommend shipping separately to the actual instrument, so you're almost going to double up on the cost. Or, you know, we can talk about you just picking this up. So it is what it is. You know, other than me trying to push a horn on you, I think it's a cool introduction to the Conn 48A. Probably a lot of people mistake them for trumpets if they're just looking at them, the beginners and just looking at them. Always check, ask, if you're unsure, ask the seller to check under the lead pipe. Just under here will be stamped 48A or 40A. So get them to check. Look at this thing here and do your research. If you're considering buying one of these, go to the site Conn Loyalist, just Google search that, and there is tons of information on the Conn Loyalist site. I love those kind of sites. I spend a lot of time on those, and much respect to the people that put those kind of sites together. I have obviously my own one with the Martin database that's still a work in progress, but there you have it. So Conn 48A, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, etc., feel free to leave a comment. If you liked the video, yeah, give it a little thumbs up. And don't forget to let people know about the channel. Like if you've got friends, family that are interested in vintage instruments, I'd love to have them subbed and checking out the channel on a regular basis. So until next time, I'm signing off.